Hello and welcome to HBM's Crypto-Corner for Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. We have quite a few things to talk about, so let's get started. Quote-unquote, Loch Ness Monster spotted 600 miles from home in quote-unquote rare sighting. You'll know the reason why I say quote-unquote Loch Ness Monster in a second. The quote-unquote Loch Ness Monster was spotted 600 miles from her home in the Bristol Channel, with locals in Clevedon, Somerset, gobsmacked by the quote-unquote rare sighting of the mythical creature. The creature that looked like the famous Loch Ness Monster was seen a long way from Scotland, in Clevedon, Somerset. People walking by the sea couldn't believe their eyes when they saw something that looked like Nessie near the old pier. The big animal was spotted swimming in the Bristol Channel, and lots of people took out their phones to snap pictures, as reported by Somerset Live. Some passers-by who saw it thought it must be Nessie because of its shape and how it stuck out of the water. It seemed like the monster was taking a break from Loch Ness. Anna Purse and her daughter Grace, who is 7, were having a stroll when they noticed the quote-unquote monster in the sea. Mrs. Purse said, "Myself and Grace were walking along the seafront and were sitting on one of the benches before the pier. The shape was right next to the pier and I noticed it moving." Can't see much in this picture, to be quite honest. I don't think this is an actual picture of the quote unquote creature. The reason I say quote unquote Loch Ness Monster is because how do they know it's actually the Loch Ness Monster? How do they know it's not some other sea monster of some sort? How do they make the jump to it being Loch Ness Monster? That's my question. It could be just another different type of sea monster, not necessarily Nessie. There's something interesting. While the Loch Ness Monster is not typically spotted on the Somerset coasts, other animals like porpoises, dolphins, and seals have been seen in the Bristol Channel. People have claimed to see the Loch Ness Monster ever since St. Columba's time in the 6th century. The loch attracts many visitors from around the world, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the legendary water creature. My thing is, isn't Loch Ness essentially quote unquote landlocked? Now, unless Nessie travels over land to the sea, to the ocean, I don't know. It's weird. I just don't think it's Loch Ness Monster those people saw. I think it's either misidentification or it's another type of sea monster. Like I said, it's weird, folks. I suppose this story is to be continued. Photo shows what appears to be creatures swimming in Hudson River. Could this be proof of a monster living in the deepest section of the Hudson River? An eerie photograph taken on a foggy spring morning in the Hudson Valley shows what appears to be an enormous creature swimming in the Hudson River. The photo has drawn comparisons to the famous Loch Ness Monster in Scotland, but also evokes memories of similar sightings right here in the Hudson Valley. While it doesn't explain the serpent-like creature caught on film this week, enormous fish have been known to hide deep below the Hudson River's murky waters. In 2019, scientists discovered a 14-foot-long fish near the Mid-Hudson Bridge in Poughkeepsie, New York. The fish was estimated to weigh over 1,000 pounds and could have lived for decades in the waters near Hyde Park, Highland and Poughkeepsie. It's rare to see sturgeon in the Hudson River because they generally stay at the bottom. In this case, it was only through the help of sonar technology that the fish was even found. A contest to name the fish helped bring more awareness to the enormous sturgeon that calls the Hudson River home. As far as we know, Henrietta, named after Henry Hudson, who discovered the fish's home, hasn't been seen with the naked eye because of her enormous weight. Scientists weren't able to bring it on board to study. Over the years, there have been multiple sightings of Kipsey, a monster that is believed to call the Hudson River home. In July, the creature was supposedly spotted near the Poughkeepsie Pirate Canoe Club. Photos taken of Kipsey were enlarged to reveal what appeared to be a small piece of driftwood that gave the illusion of a head poking out of the water. Most of the sightings of Poughkeepsie have either turned out to be debris floating in the Hudson River or have been explained away as a rare sturgeon sighting. Well, most likely this is just some sort of debris or perhaps a sturgeon. I don't believe it's actually a sea creature or a lake monster or a river monster. That's just, or it may be just most likely a piece of driftwood. Now here's something interesting. 31 reported Bigfoot sightings in the Hudson Valley since 1962. A list of sightings dates back to 1962 with a reported sighting in Maybrook, New York, where they nicknamed the Bigfoot Turkey Monster. Bigfoot Turkey Monster? The first recorded Bigfoot sighting on the Google map is from 1962 until the 1990s. According to the Post, the creature terrorized a Maybrook, New York turkey farm so often they nicknamed it the Turkey Monster. Said creature was also known to scare off teens partying, even going as far as throwing a keg as the teens scared to their cars. Blooming Grove Bigfoot. In 1976, a man recounts an experience when he and four other children saw what they say was a gorilla watching them through a window of an abandoned house on Farmingdale Road in Blooming Grove. So we have what you might say is a bit of a bonus, a few bonus stories about Sasquatch seen in various places in New York State. And I think this is either misidentification or maybe AI. Perhaps it's AI. I don't know for sure. I don't want to make accusations and say that somebody is creating an AI image of a lake monster, but it's either that or it's driftwood or misidentification. I don't think this is an actual lake monster, but that's just me though. 'Is creating an AI image of a lake monster, but it's either that or it's driftwood or misidentification. I don't think this is an actual lake monster, but that's just me though. 15 cryptids that escaped human detection for now. Cryptozoology is the study of mythical creatures. They could be extinct animals thought to have come back to life or new species that have yet to be identified. Whether we believe it or not, cryptozoology is fascinating, and we'd all love to see one of these animals discovered and named beyond any reasonable question. Bigfoot, number one. Chupacabra, number two. Mothman number 3, the Yowie number 4, Thunderbirds number 5, the Jersey Devil number 6, Wampus Cat number 7, number 8, the Kraken, the number 9, the Yeti or Abominable Snowman, number 10, the Jackalope, number 11, the Mongolian Deathworm, number 12, the Queensland Tiger, number 13, the Orang Pendek, number 14, the Loch Ness Monster, number 15, Mokele Mbembe, and a random photo of Harrison Ford in a movie. Yes. But these are the top 15 cryptids that remain elusive from humans, apparently. How many of them are real and how many of them are urban legend and misidentification? That's an excellent question. A lot of people say the chupacabra is merely a hoax or an urban legend. So who knows? Who knows what discoveries may lie before us in the future? I reported about the Loch Ness Monster having land sightings back in the early 30s. Here's a follow up story to McLennan land sighting. Having published the article on the McLennan creature recently, I thought I would go over any comments made on it by way of reply. The last time I looked, there were 167 comments attached to the article on Facebook, which was a very large amount. But then again, I did not know how many generated more heat than light. So having trawled through them, I picked out some of them for further discussion here. Main one would certainly be from Colin Veacock, who applied his artistic skills to produce the sketch at the top of this article. This right here. I had made my own attempt previously, and Colin added his impression as well. His sketch certainly sums up McLennan's statement when she said, "A more ugly sight you never saw." I think he got the neck better than me, as the eyewitness did say it was somehow flopped over its back, but still somehow pointing towards the lock. Colin also made that ridge on the back more visible, but I'm still wondering how floppy this neck was. Sometimes I get the impression that it was thrown over the back like a scarf. Regarding the description of hooves, all we have is with a kind of hoof very like a pig's, but much larger. Colin has to go and is more literal in his rendition than I was. My problem was that this was related for the first time 25 years after the event. If you think her recall was pristine after that time, think again. I was accused of taking liberties with my sketch, but the point for me was that aquatic animals do not have hooves, and she could have interpreted a three-webbed toe arrangement as a hoof. However, in the time I had, I could not figure the best way to show that, so the limb extremities on my sketch became an ambiguous set of lines. I include below Colin's wider field of view sketch of the creature. What is this? Looks like some sort of an eel or a salamander. It's a salamander, giant salamander. Hmm, that must be one of the theories going around about what Loch Ness Monster could be. A giant salamander. There are those who say it's going to be, or that it's actually a long-necked whale, a supposedly extinct long-necked whale. That is what Ken Gerhard has maintained. Is that it's some sort of a long-necked whale? So, but I don't know. nobody knows for sure what Nessie is, obviously. You guys will be fascinated with two Loch Ness Monster stories this week. Freeman Bigfoot footage could be genuine piece of video evidence, experts claim. Presenter Tony Harris examined the evidence supporting the claimed authenticity of Paul Freeman's famous Bigfoot footage in a recent episode of The Proof Is Out There on History Channel. He previously invited Michael Freeman, the late forest ranger's son, to share his recollections of the day his father returned home, visibly shaken after encountering a Bigfoot near Deduct Spring, Blue Mountains, Oregon. Harris also sought expert opinion on the Freeman footage. See video below. He said scientists he spoke with agreed that the video could be legit. He concluded that expert opinion justified a closer look at the here. Okay, let's check it out. There you go. The verdict from the proof is out there. Now, the biologist, he's actually a bit more skeptical than Cliff and Jeff would have been. I'm not discounting what Cliff and Dr. Meldrum said. Not discounting that at all. I'm just saying that the biologist is actually more of a skeptic of Sasquatch. So, but still fascinating stuff. Here from Michael Freeman is also good. Now, I highly recommend everybody take a look at Michael Freeman's book about his father, Freeman Bigfoot Files. Not only because of the material in the book, but because of the QR codes that are in the book as well. Get a QR scanner for your phone, for your smartphone, and take a look at what the extra stuff with the QR codes. It's really fascinating stuff. It really is great stuff. Great material. Now, Freeman actually allegedly filmed Sasquatch more than once, which would be enough to send alarm bells ringing to some. But I think that Freeman, he got such a bad rap. He really did. I think that his footage is so drastically understudied, and I think that it should be taken a second look at. That's just how I see it. So I do highly recommend getting the Freeman Bigfoot files for sure. Finally, I want to recommend Chester Moore's blog, BigfootSouth.com. He's re releasing his 2004 book with an expanded edition, a 20-year anniversary book, which, if you've ever read the first book, it's really good stuff. Especially for those who don't think there are any Sasquatch in the South. That book, I think, will change your mind. That one and Lyle Blackburn's Beyond Boggy Creek. Those two are fascinating looks at the southern Sasquatch phenomenon. You actually order Chester's book from this blog. I wonder if it's going to be on Amazon as well. We're having Chester on the Sasquatch Experience in a few weeks. Maybe I can ask him then if he's going to have the book available on Amazon. So Really, it looks like it's going to be a great book. And we're looking forward to talking to Chester in a few weeks on the Sasquatch Experience. Speaking of the Sasquatch Experience, I do highly recommend the website to take a listen to past episodes. We have a lot of Sasquatch Experience classics. These are shows that have been digitally restored by the hard work of Sean Forker. As you guys know, I was in on the ground floor. I was the original co-host for Fork Chop back in the day, back in, goodness, 2006. So Sean and I, we've known each other for a long time. We've been co-hosting for a long time. We co-hosted from 2006 to 2010, and then we started the show back up in 2020, so 4 years ago. We started the show back up. And I'm happy we did. We've added a few co-hosts along the way. We got James Baker and Vance Nesbitt and Matt Arner. So you guys can check it out. We've had guests like Cliff Barrickman, Amy Boo, Eli Watson, Seth Breedlove. Had several great guests. Now, back in the day, we had John Green, we had Thomas Steenberg. We had several guests back in the day. That's what's part of the Sasquatch Experience Classics. So if you guys are bored and you want to check out some classic Sasquatch Experience with some classic guests, they are available at SasquatchExperience.com. And I'm going to include a link below to that as well. So let you guys check that out too. In fact, here's the website right here. Check out hours of content. I mean, literal hours. We had over 100 episodes on our original run, and we're looking to have more, looking to have 100 more with our current run. We're almost there with our 100th episode on our current run. And we've gone back to bi-weekly, which is why there was no show on Monday night. Yeah, we had Doug Hycheck also. We had Daniel Perez. Had Ray Crow back in the day. We had Dr. Meldrum back in the day as well. Right here, January 7th, 2007. We've had Doug Waller on. We've had Scott Harriet back in the day. We've had Amy Boo. We've had Jamie and Jenny King. We've had Mike Ann. We've had Larry Beans Baxter, Mark Madsky, Todd Neese, Ryan Cavaline. Ryan Seach, Corey Lecapoy. Shannon LeGros, we've had her on. We've had the Ohio Night Stalkers, Mike Feltner and Mike Miller, Eric Altman. So we've had quite a few guests on our show through the years. So again, oh, by the way, we also have our Squatch Pro Shop, where you can get your own Sasquatch Experience t-shirt in several different designs, and the Sasquatch Experience Yeti Rambler, Sasquatch Experience host Yeti Rambler, which I have one of, because Fork Chop Sean Forker sent each of us co-hosts a Yeti Rambler. Here are 3 designs for our t-shirts. Now, I happen to have this particular design. So, like I say, you guys check it out. It's good stuff. It's cool stuff. And you're supporting a great show when you listen to us and also when you purchase our merchandise. And that's going to do it for this week. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. I always say that, but I always mean it. And I'll continue to do this so long as you guys want me to. And for the 9th year in a row, going on almost 10 years, almost a decade, after initially having HBMs in podcast form, now I have it in vodcast form, video podcast. I think that's much better than having it in podcast form. Not that it wasn't fun, but you get to see the stories instead of just hearing about them, which is great. So, until next week, y'all be good or be good at it. This has been HBM's Crypto Corner. Oh, and to quote Columbo, there is just one more thing. My birthday is next Tuesday. I thought I'd mention that to you guys. So if you want to wish me a happy birthday, you can do so below. Or you can also comment on the video for this week. But I'm going to be the big 54, big 5-4. Yep, just thought I'd mention that to you guys. So again, until next week, y'all be good or be good at it. This is HBM's Crypto Corner.